Hi guys, I am welcoming you with my QUOTEX channel with the binary options. Today's strategy is the strategy where I wasn't trying to make it the perfect one. I was just trying to make any strategy and to show how it's working, because sometimes this is not the thing about the indicators, it's about the periods of the indicator. Maybe of one of it, maybe of both of them, but sometimes you can actually miss. You can actually put the wrong number, or you can actually think it's going to be easier like that, but in the end you just get, not the perfect indicator, even if this indicator is your favorite one. So I want to show you this situation, and I want just you to guess, because I'm going to tell you just in the end which indicator wasn't perfect, but I want to just, test your own feelings and assumptions about that. So we got to start and let's go. So let's go. The QUOTEX interface looks like so simplified out of, the bucket option and stuff. But in some cases, I quite like it also, because you just don't have any distracting details for you. So here is the first indicator for us. It's going to be the downtrend channel. Here is my first bet. I'm going to actually change it. And here's the 1 minute interval that we're going to use. And the second indicator is going to be RSI. And in case if you want to try some, unfamiliar indicators for you, I do suggest just take one difficult or unknown indicator for yourself, and then add some indicator that is actually quite stable and safe for you. Yep, there is the chances that you actually gonna use and gonna look just at the indicator that you know, the indicator that you trust, but this is actually more safe for you. And after, if you know the indicator of the first one, your favorite one, quite good, you can pay attention to the new indicator. You can actually see some additional signs, because if there are two new indicators, you are, in a tricky position, because you may just read all the signs a little bit wrong. Here's that. This is what we got to see about the downtrend channel. Look at that candles, different channels, different indicators, and none of the candles are getting out of that. And you need to remember about the downtrend channel, about when it's narrow and when it's wide. So let's start. I'm gonna get a little bit more about that when we gotta trade. And here we are. Just guess what it's gonna be. The bet for us, I would say it's going to be upward one. Let's change. So I've changed. And let's make this an upward one. Look at the RSI. Yep, it's getting a little bit flat, but the tendency is for an rising. And look also on the lines on the downtrend channel. Some of the lines showing us we gotta get for some upward trend, and plus we are at the bottom, so we are trying to cross that line because we are rising, and in some cases you may see that this middle line is supposed to be crossed. So let's see how it's gonna be just in the end, and then try it more and more. So just as I told you, here's some chances actually that this orange candle gonna be huge, but RSI still doesn't show us that it's gonna be some drastic fall, because it's just gonna, play like that. And you may see already, we just had it. Look at that. We just had it as a bracket. And the next one, I still assume it's gonna be an upward trend. I'm gonna change my bet. And I'm gonna make a bet for an upward trend. Look at the RSI, still flat, but actually it's showing us that it's getting a little bit downward. But look at all these candles. We are at the bottom already, and I do not see that it's gonna be more down in that case. Just let's check how it's gonna be. So here actually that's not the perfect situation, because I used more my intuition than all the indicators, just because I was expecting that they may be still some falling, but I am expecting some breaking, quite soon. And this 1 minute, I am just, quite lucky that it was enough for that, and we already may see that it is some upward tiny trend that we can actually catch. And here again, we are just at the border of the downtrend channel, so we may expect some break-in. And look at the borders, because these borders, these lines of the downtrend channel, they are just changing. They are trying to be, at the candle stop. So we may expect, after the candles just crossed the lines of the channel, we expect some break-in. But look at that situation. When the candles were here, just, at the and crossing this downward line, but the channel were wide. So when it's wide, we don't expect it's going to be the break-in. But when it's narrow, after this narrow, period, we expect, if it's even crossed the line of the channel, we expect some break-in. So this is what you need to remember about that indicator. It doesn't work for all of the channels, but for downtrend channel, it actually working. So and look at that. It's not the widest and it's not the most narrow channel, but anyway, we couldn't say that it's quite wide and it's getting wider and wider. So we do not expect, because when it's getting wider, it means that the trend are going to be continuing. So let's go next. And here, look how narrow is it. Look what we are actually having. And we were actually downward. So now, because it's narrow, we are expecting some upward trend. RSI is showing it to us. So in that situation, it's quite safe. So let's check it out. Sometimes it's tricking even me. And you may see it actually how it started to be even more and more narrow. And you may get the wrong impression. If it's so narrow, it's not gonna be, so jumping upward. But in that case, we are expecting for some small changes because it's narrow and it's enough for us just to make our bets. Let's wait for the last bet just to be profitable, because I do expect that it's gonna be like that. And you can see this enough, even if it's small, it's just enough for the right trend to come. So let's make it the last one. I couldn't say that this strategy is perfect. I couldn't, just because RSI and downtrend channel is not the perfect combo. It's not the perfect one. But here mostly, I would say that RSI is quite easier to use. But downtrend channel here is a leading indicator, because there's lots of things that you actually can control by using that. RSI in this period just showing us a little bit more, it is a little bit more flat that I would actually desire. And maybe if I'm going to use this strategy again and again, I would change the period of it. So look at that. Here again, I am still predicting that it's going to be some upward trend. And now it is just looking a little bit not perfect for me, but I still expect, look at these lines of the downtrend channel. So I just do expect that it's still going to be the upward trend in the end. So here's like a 10 seconds left, and I hope it's going to be enough for us, because we are detecting, even with the RSI, smooth and tiny upward movement. Let's check. Let's finish like that, because in that point I am winning. Yup, it is just like that, just like that. And look at that, lines of the downtrend channel haven't changed. It's still quite flat and quite narrow. So we just done, and that was the last one. So we're done. So just as I told you, RSI here was the indicator with a mistake. And the period, because this period couldn't give us the right impression about the candles. It was too flat. It was too, just like we were looking, for some distance. I wanted just to have it more, like a closer. What's going on with the candles right here, right now? Because downtrend channel can give us the impression already about the whole tendency. And I just need to more specific understanding of the candles in this moment. So I hope you can fix it. And if you are just got some positive results and you tried this period or the difference period, I want you just to give me any feedback here in the comments, or I don't know, just in my Telegram channel, anywhere. You know that all the links just below this video or in my bio, and you are welcome with your feedback. So we're gonna get for some more, so you need to be tuned.